What's going on, money lovers? Welcome back. So IBM was down tremendously after their earnings call last week. It went down 10% to where it sits now. So I'm going to touch on a few things of note from the earnings, as well as give you a picture of what to expect from IBM from here on out. So I haven't changed my views on IBM at all. I still have a very favorable long-term outlook on the company. So stick around to the end because I'm going to show you guys an interview that I think sums up where IBM is at right now perfectly and what to expect. So if you're still not sold on IBM by the end of this, let me know your views on the company in the comments below. Do you think IBM is a good buy? Why or why not? So let's get to it. So first off, I want to show you guys a little snippet from an interview with Cathie Wood, the CEO of ARKG, and how this ties into IBM.
Well, we're looking closely at quantum computing because we've been in the business a long time, more than 40 years. But for the last 20 years of those, we've been examining quantum computing. I'd be at the World Economic Forum Technology Conference in China, and professors from around the world focused on the next big thing, quantum computing. It was always 10 years out.
So ARK focuses on these 5 main areas of innovation: artificial intelligence, energy storage, robotics, genome sequencing, and blockchain technology. But when the interviewer asked Cathie Wood if she had to pick a 6th, what would it be? She said none other than
quantum computing.
IBM Quantum leads the world in quantum computing, which aims to solve complex problems the world's most powerful supercomputers cannot solve and never will. I touched on this in my past videos, which I'll link in the description below. It's a fascinating field with lots of potential that is yet to be unlocked. And Krishna said that we are investing to develop and address future market opportunities, such as quantum computing. He believes quantum has the potential to unlock hundreds of billions of dollars of revenues for our clients by the end of the decade. IBM's Q4 earnings. While IBM's revenue was down, their cloud revenue was up 8% year over year. For the fourth quarter, IBM brought in revenue of $20 billion, which was down 6%, but their total cloud revenue of $7.5 billion was up 10%. Their Red Hat revenue was up 19%. They reduced their debt by $3.9 billion since the third quarter. And for the full year, they brought in revenue of $73.6 billion, down 5%. However, their total cloud revenue was $25 billion, or up 19%. Their Red Hat revenue was up 18%. Their free cash flow is over $10 billion, nearly $11 billion, and they have $14 billion in cash on hand, while their debt has been reduced by more than $11 billion since closing the Red Hat acquisition. These are all things you want to see. The CEO, Arvind Krishna, has said time and again, cloud and AI are going to be their major focuses. These are the business segments with the highest profit margins, and they are clearly growing. Since October, IBM announced the acquisition of 7 companies focused on hybrid cloud and AI, said James Kavanaugh, IBM Senior VP and Chief Financial Officer. With solid cash generation, steadily expanding gross profit margins, disciplined financial management, and ample liquidity, we are well positioned for success as the leading hybrid cloud platform company. If you look at the gross profit margins here, cloud and cognitive software's profit margins are the highest profit margins by far. The profit margin for cloud and cognitive software was over 77%, whereas the other business segments anywhere between 27% to 55%. Cloud is going to be the main focus of the new company. They will have so much free cash flow that they can use to reinvest into the business, and this will put them in a strong position to compete with the likes of Amazon and Microsoft. In the conference call, CEO Arvind Krishna said that in spite of the many challenges of 2020, IBM made good progress, and in 2021, he believes that we will see the progress start to show up in IBM's results. They finished the year strong in free cash flow, which is important as it's the fuel for their future investments, and he believes they have the plans in place to be able to grow the company in 2021. They have 2,800 clients using their platform, a number which has grown 40% over the last year. Many notable names such as Barclays, Walmart, Geico, Ford, and more are utilizing IBM's hybrid cloud platform. In regards to quantum computing, there's a lot of potential here. Their plan is to have 1,000 plus qubits quantum computer by 2023. As far as IBM's culture, Krishna said that since becoming IBM CEO, he's gone to great lengths to instill a growth and entrepreneurial mindset in the company. They're encouraging more business risk-taking and ensuring a higher tolerance for failure across the business, which he believes will allow them to more quickly respond to clients, seize more opportunities, and drive better business outcomes. In 2021, the significant changes to the company regarding the spinoff will begin to take hold, and Krishna says to expect better performance in the second half of 2021 than in the first half. And he expects the company will generate between $11 and $12 billion of adjusted free cash flow. As far as Red Hat, They now have 2,800 clients using their hybrid cloud platform, and for perspective, that's more than 1,000 new clients since they acquired Red Hat. Red Hat's backlog is over $5 billion for the first time. To close it out, let's listen to this interview with an analyst named Stephanie Link. I think that she summed everything up perfectly.
Steph, you've got a big call to make on a stock that is down 10%. IBM off of earnings last night. You're not worried about the declining software revenue?
No, I mean, I think a lot of bad news is priced in. First and foremost, we are in a very early innings of a transition away from legacy businesses and towards faster growing segments, meaning cloud, AI, blockchain, data analytics. And they have a new CEO. He's been at the company for 30 years, but they have a new CEO who's an expert at all of those things. And he was actually very instrumental in the $34 billion acquisition of Red Hat. And he's putting executives around him that buy into this strategy. The ex-CEO of Red Hat is actually now the president of the entire company at IBM. So you know back in October, they announced the spin-out of the Managed Infrastructure Services division. That's going to happen later this year. What does that mean? You have a much simpler company, a faster growing company, and over time, I think that's a higher multiple company. So you've got to give them time. The quarter is backward looking, and I was very encouraged about gross margin expansion and the $11 to $12 billion in free cash flow that they announced for the year. So I think at 11 times earnings with a 5.7 yield, I think it's very attractive here.
So what do you think of IBM? Are you sold on this comeback story, or have you written them off? Let me know in the comments below. This is Vinny from the Investment Club, and I'll see you next time.